no feelings, we just floating. Yeah, I'm that grain of sand that made it out the ocean. A couple milli now, I'm causing a commotion. I've been coasting, hear my name around the world like an explosion.
Rise up. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning and welcome to RPtv. Today is Monday, March 7th, 2022. In case you missed it, the mandate for wearing masks in schools and childcare facilities has been lifted, starting today. Cooper has that report.
Individual schools and child care centers can still impose their own mask rules, but otherwise, masks will now be optional for students, staff, and visitors. I must thank the overwhelming majority of students, parents, administrators, educators, and support staffers who have worn their masks without problem or protest since our schools reopened for in-person learning, Governor Phil Murphy said when he announced the move. Thankfully, we have reached a point where we feel confident that we can take another step toward normalcy for our kids. Monday also marks the first time in 2 years New Jerseyans are not under some sort of health emergency order, Murphy announced Friday when he was lifting the state's latest public health emergency Monday, as officials say the state is moving into a new era of COVID-19, shifting from pandemic to endemic footing.
Daylight savings is just around the corner, and more people are wondering if it is really necessary, even the United States Congress. Let's go to Julian for the details.
March is the day that we move our clocks forward an hour, as most states do for daylight savings time. But New Jersey representatives are wondering if the change is needed anymore. The Subcommittee on Consumer Protection will have a hearing on Wednesday. All states except Arizona and Hawaii move the clocks as they remain on permanent standard time. A bipartisan bill in both houses of Congress has been proposed that would make daylight savings time permanent year-round, and the bill would require Congress to amend the Uniform Time Act of 1966. There has been debate about it, though, as the U.S. Department of Transportation says daylight savings saves energy, saves lives, and prevents traffic injuries and even reduces crime. But Congress says the effects are very minimal. That was done in a study. Other federations like One Retail Federation and the American Academy of Sleep Medicine go the other way of favoring standard time due to our body circadian rhythm. Another option has been to move the clocks 30 minutes, not the full hour.
Now it's time for announcements. There will be a meeting of the Art Club and NAHS Friday after school in room 102. RPHS track meeting today at 3:40 p.m. in the student cafeteria. See Miss Martinez with any questions. Yearbook ads are on sale for the class of 2022. See Mr. Fuji with any questions. Job opportunities. Joe's Rotisserie is hiring dishwashers and someone to answer the phone and take orders. Please call Joanne at 917-669-7636 for more info or apply in person at 547 Westfield Avenue. The Community Methodist Church in Roselle Park is looking for a computer-savvy student to assist with updating their church website. The student would be compensated. For more information, reach out to Miss Woodruff at 908-358-2048. A local senior citizen is looking for a student, preferably female bilingual, to teach her basic computer skills. Interested students please talk to your guidance counselor. The Multicultural Fashion Show is set for Wednesday, April 6th at 4:30 p.m. There will be dancing, food, and other fun activities. So get yourself ready to have a great time. Chorus Club will hold its next meeting on Tuesday, March 15th at 3 o'clock in the music room, room 22. New members are welcome. For more information, contact Mr. Witkowski. The Ecology Club will be collecting your old mascara wands. A collection box will be placed in the office. They are also collecting the disposable contact plastic packets and used contacts for recycling. Thank you for making the earth a cleaner place, and remember to reduce, reuse, and recycle.
This is incredible! Who did this? I want another one right now. I want 5. I want 10. Give me 11 of these. Please. Shut up and take my money. That was a pro gamer move right there.
Quite warm and actually set a few records. But how long will it last? Probably not too long. Let's go back to Cooper for the latest information.
Sunday's mild weather set and met record high temperatures in southern and northern New Jersey. According to the National Weather Service, a storm in Canada that drew warm air up from the mid-Atlantic region sent the temperature in Atlantic City up to 71 degrees, a record high for March 6, said Patrick O'Hara, a meteorologist at the National Weather Service's Mount Holly station. It soundly beat the previous record of 68 degrees set in 1959, O'Hara said, and high in 69 in Newark at 4 p.m. tied that city's record temperature for the date. It hasn't been that warm in Newark on March 6 since 1935. Looking at this week, we could expect the hottest temperature of a high of 75 today.
Stay tuned. We will be right back. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and stay tuned for CNN 10.
Hi, I'm Carl Azus. It's a brand new week, and we're happy you're spending a few minutes with us today. First up, attempts are being made to evacuate civilians from war-torn cities in Ukraine. Children are among the people hiding in basements while fighting destroys the buildings above. Russian and Ukrainian forces agreed to a ceasefire on Saturday to allow people to leave the cities of Mariupol and Volnovakha using a safe evacuation route. But the plan was shut down when fighting continued, with each side accusing the other of breaking the ceasefire. They both said they'd try again on Sunday, though. The mayor of the coastal city of Mariupol on the Sea of Azov says there's no power, heat, water, or internet. Ukrainian government officials have been asking the countries that support them to establish a no-fly zone. The goal of that would be to keep Russian planes and helicopters from conducting airstrikes in Ukraine. If that won't happen, Ukraine's president has asked for fighter jets, and the United States is reportedly in talks with Poland to possibly provide those kinds of planes to Ukraine. But while America and several other countries have given Ukraine weapons and ammunition for the war, officials say they're hesitant on requests for a no-fly zone and fighter jets because Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that would make them participants in the conflict. And the U.S. and European countries have said they don't want to directly get involved against the Russian military. They don't want the conflict to escalate beyond Ukraine. The Russian leader has already called the Western sanctions, the financial penalties on Russia, the equivalent of a war declaration. But while they continue to expand and hurt Russia economically, they have not brought an end to its invasion of Ukraine. Shipments of international aid, surgical kits, trauma kits, medicines, first aid packages, they've begun to arrive in the Ukrainian capital. Government officials there say thousands of people have been going for days without electricity, food, running water, or basic day-to-day supplies.
We are here on the northern western outskirts of Kiev at the entrance to a place called Irpin. And basically what you're seeing here is people who have been under heavy bombardment now for 7 straight days, finally managing to flee from this area of Irpin. And if we pan over here, my cameraman Scott McWhinney can show you the bridge here that connects Irpin to central Kiev has been destroyed. That was destroyed by Ukrainian forces to prevent Russian forces from moving on into central Kiev. But what you're seeing now is that people have to navigate and cross on foot this destroyed bridge in order to get out safely. Now, since we've been here, we have heard non-stop heavy artillery coming from that direction, also that direction. You can imagine how petrified these people are. These people have been under bombardment for 7 straight days and are only just leaving their homes. And they're leaving them reluctantly, and they're leaving them with the knowledge that they might not be able to go back to them. And you can see many of these people are elderly. Можно вам помочь? Можно вам помочь? Вот там, вот там, вот там, вот там. Можно вам помочь? See them, people are so exhausted. They can barely walk. They're having to climb this sort of twisted metal. Many of them, as you can see, are elderly. They're visibly distressed. It's just an awful, awful scene. And these people are the lucky ones. Можно вам помочь? Можно вам помочь? Мне очень жарко. Это плохая. Можно вам помочь? Давайте мне вот это. Давайте мне. I'm just going to help her carry this bag a second, excuse me, while we try to, ну вот там, ничего страшного, ничего страшного. Как вас зовут? So people are obviously incredibly affected by this situation. They're frightened, they're exhausted, they're on edge, they've got their pets. They've grabbed whatever they can. A lot of these people have no idea where they're going to go once they cross this bridge. They know that they're in relative safety once they do it, but they don't have any idea where they're going to go. They don't have any idea where they're going to sleep tonight.
On Saturday, the National Weather Service in Des Moines, Iowa, said a large and extremely dangerous storm was moving toward a city 5 miles east of the capital. It produced a tornado that tore through several counties, killing at least 7 people and seriously damaging more than 24 homes. Iowa's governor proclaimed Madison County a disaster area. What that does is speed up help from Iowa's state government to the people who need it. Yesterday, police said it was dangerous to travel because power lines were down and debris and standing water were blocking roads, so they encouraged Iowans in the affected areas to stay home. Their state is located in Tornado Alley, a region of the U.S. that sees the most twisters. On average, 2 tornadoes strike Iowa in the month of March.
This is a two-dimensional look at a storm on radar, but meteorologists see a tornado. But what is it exactly that meteorologists see? Well, let's take a look. The yellow and green colors you see here are going to be your very heavy rain in the storm. The red color indicates your hail core. And then all the way down there, the purple circle, that's where your tornado is going to be. Meteorologists often refer to it as the hook echo because of the hook shape that it ends up taking. But these aren't the only features we look for. We also have to take a look at the winds inside the storm. Imagine this flagpole was inside of our storm, and the flag's going all the way up to the very top of the cloud. The thing is, the wind changes direction as you go up. So this naturally creates that rotation necessary for funnel clouds and also even tornadoes. So now let's take a look at the base of that storm. What you have is you have very warm inflow, warm air coming into the storm and rising, because that's what warm air does. It goes up. But you also have cold air coming down from the tops of the clouds and sinking all the way down towards the base. Now together, these help to create wind shear down near the perimeter, and that is what helps create some of the more violent tornadoes. Now, what if your tornado has been on the ground for at least a little bit? Then you start to get this, the debris cloud, which is essentially a collection of all of the stuff the tornado has been able to pick up, everything from dust to trees to even homes.
10-second trivia. Which of the Great Lakes has seen the most shipwrecks? Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, or Lake Erie? More than 2,000 shipwrecks rest in Lake Erie, which has one of the highest concentrations in the world. But it was in Lake Superior, the deepest Great Lake, that a 130-year-old shipwreck was recently discovered off the coast of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. No one knows why the coal-carrying barge was named the Atlanta. The capital of Georgia, which shares that name, is hundreds of miles away. But historians do know the ship was being towed during a storm when the tow line snapped, and so did the Atlanta's masts, which left it impossible to sail. Only 2 people out of its 7-member crew survived. Experts say the wreck is so well preserved because the waters of Lake Superior are so cold. The Great Lakes Shipwreck Historical Society explored it using a remotely controlled submersible. It plans to leave the Atlanta undisturbed as opposed to trying to salvage it from a depth of 650 feet. For 10 out of 10, what is 2 stories tall, weighs more than a ton, and is covered by more than 2,000 foam quills? Percy the porcupine, of course! Now you might be asking, but Carl, what? This is a puppet, a gigantic inflatable one. It was ordered by the San Diego Children's Zoo for a new exhibit. According to the Los Angeles Times, it took 5 people to build Percy, it takes 5 people to operate Percy, and he's only a porcupine head. Because when the project came to a head, it was already ahead of the size of the others. It was head and shoulders above them. And fans who were porcupining away for their nocturne to make a rodent in their schedule by visiting such an arboreal treat thought the whole idea was quiller. From the island of Okinawa, Japan, we heard from our friends at Kadena High School on our YouTube channel. Shout out to you. I'm Carl Azus.